What if you could take that risk, make that change, reach that goal, live your best life? Welcome to another episode of the What If You Could podcast, where we get together with amazing experts and everyday people who share challenges, encourage healing, and explore the possibilities that life has to offer. I'm your host, Gary Scott, and I'm excited that you're along for the ride. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the What If You Could podcast. And my effervescent friend here is Dawn Wells. Hello, Dawn Wells.
Hello, Gary. How are
How
you
are you?
today?
Are you having fun yet?
I am already, and we haven't even started yet, right?
Oh, this is going to be good. No, we're going to heal a bunch of people. You're
Yes.
gonna you're gonna take us in a direction and you're going to make us all healthy. You're going to piss off all the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies.
Right. So if I get blown up, you'll know why.
I've got your back. I'm so going to
I
protect
know
you
you
on this
do.
one.
I know
For
you
sure.
do.
All right, everybody. I'm just going to read a real quick bio on Don Wells, so we all know who we're playing with, and we'll get going. So,
All right.
meet Don Wells, the Wiz of Wellness, and one of the only practicing medical fitness practitioners in the USA, but the only one on the Southeast. A former Marine, Dawn turned her journey of overcoming binge eating disorder into a mission to inspire others, earning top certifications in medical fitness and blood based nutrition. Dawn heals chronic conditions through on site services, billable to insurance, and affordable online programs accessible worldwide. As the leader of Angel Eyes Fitness and DWF Wellness, Dawn champions holistic health with science based strategies. An award winning expert and best selling author, she empowers clients to achieve lasting wellness, body, mind, and spirit. Your health transformation starts here. I mean, right
Hey,
here. This
let's
is
do it.
we're gonna blow this.
Let's do it.
You don't need me. You don't need me, kiddo. You're huge. Yeah, I'm just here to play. Um, but because we are the What If You Could podcast, I just have to give you the what if you could question. So have you ever had a what if you could moment? Is there a what if you could you'd love to share with us, and what
Yes.
would that be?
What if I could get the entire world off of medications?
Wow. All right, we're done. Thanks, everybody. That's it. I mean, honestly, is when will people get, right, the fact that when you watch television and there's 97 commercials for something with the most ridiculous name, and then you've got dancing balloons and you've got animals and you've got all these happy people. It says, oh, you're going to have anal bleeding and you're going to have seizures and you're going to, it's like, what?
Oh, you gonna die too, by the way. That's
Yeah.
definitely mentioned.
So
Um,
how do we get off of this stuff? How do we get people to understand when you go into the doctor for a toothache and you leave with 16 prescriptions for drugs? That's not the way to go.
here's the thing, Gary. People know medications are not healing them. All right. They know that. The problem is the mind connection with the fact that they're not being healed. There's a disconnect. Not only that, there's a bunch of misinformation and mixed information out here. So people are confused. And that's by design, by the way. Okay. There's pharmaceutical is that's a multi-billion-dollar business. Okay. So this people know it, but I my goal is to help them to reconnect or to connect with the real fact that your medications are not healing you, but you can heal, and it's as easy as just tweaking your nutrition and move a little. All right. And intentionally be moving, right?
Right. Well,
and
you
doing
you
the
make
right.
you make it sound awfully easy, Don, but you know a lot of this is confusion, like you said, but a lot of it's intimidation. It's like, well, they're the doctor, they're the pharmacist, they know. Who am I to question them, right? We need someone like Don Wells to empower these people to stand up against this, right?
So let's talk about that, right? Doctors, they have a place. Medication has a place, but it is a means to an end, right? They can only tell you what they know. Physicians have one course, if I'm not mistaken, in nutrition their entire career. They are not do there. That's not what they do. So I don't fault the physicians. They're doing you can't fault a snake for biting you. That's what they do. I mean,
No, it's
really?
the truth. It's the truth. And how many times you go to the doctor with something, and the first thing they ask you is, "How's your diet? What are you eating? Are you moving? You look like your BMI, your body mass index is about 80, but I'm not going to question that, right? Except if I'm going to give you a prescription to drop down your BMI, right? So it's like the intimidation factor is huge.
It is.
And like you
Not
said, I don't even know if they have one nutrition class in medical school. They might have one.
believe they have one, if from what I understand. And that's all cool because they're not dietitians, they're not nutritionists. That's where I come in, right? So and then they send you to people that supposedly have this expert knowledge, and they give you a bunch of cookie cutter in the box BS that really doesn't help you, and in fact will confuse you even doggone further. But it's not that hard. It's not that hard. It really is not. So, the first thing we have to do, Gary, is reconnect our mind with our bodies and understand that you can heal. And you really can truly heal using how did you get to where you're at? Look at the root cause and then go back to that root cause and heal that. So that's what I do. I help you to reconnect your mental state with the original root cause of your chronic condition, and then we heal that instead of just using medication to treat your symptoms.
Yeah. Well, I
And then
love that because you don't come flying out of your mom at 280 pounds, all right? It's just not going to
no,
happen. You did not do that. And even when you were in high school or elementary school, you probably weren't there. I'm fascinated by the blood-based nutrition. I do have one friend here, Dr. Nicole, who does that. And I know
Mhm.
there's others that do the blood-based nutrition. But I think people go to their doctor and they get their blood work, right? So they get cholesterol, triglycerides, and maybe a couple
All of
of
that.
handful of things, right? And you go, oh, I had my blood work. I'm done. You're like, dude, no way. That's not even close to what you need. So, I mean, when you're talking about blood-based nutrition, I mean, how deep are you going with that?
So here, can I give you a real life example, right?
Yes.
Okay, think about let me tell you why that's important. Think about a fish. Freshwater, saltwater fish, right? This is a Dawnism 101. This is not even Dr. Peter Diadamo's theory. This is a Dawnism 101 to help real people understand real shit.
So,
I shouldn't have said that. All right. So
I
here,
love Dawnism, by the way. This is a Dawnism, and it won't be our only one, guys. Be prepared for more Dawnisms.
the world according to Dawn, right?
So tell us about these fish.
All right, so freshwater, saltwater. Okay, you will not put a freshwater in a saltwater's habitat, right? Freshwater fish, because it will not thrive. In fact, it will die. Correct?
Yep.
Think about your body now and its blood. We all need water, macronutrients, which are protein, carbs, and fats, right? But doesn't it just make sense that where you get those nutrients is going to be prevalent to your environment? That's just common dang on sense. Forget the science. I mean, that's important as well. But if you don't want to be confused, don't be confused. It's just that simple. Our bodies are the exact same way. Blood type plays a huge factor in that because of a lot of things. The lectins mainly, which is the agent in our blood, but and it causes clumping. But forget the science. Let's just talk about common sense. And like I said, it just makes sense that if I'm A and you're O, where I get my protein base is going to be prevalent to my environment, just like yours is to yours, just like with the fish. It's just that simple. So now, go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're on a roll. Keep going.
So now let's get back. Let's get to that. So what happens? Let me get to the science part of it now. Can I do that? Oh, I
Yeah.
won't blow your head up because it's not rocket science. It's not. I promise you.
I'm not a very smart guy, so I'll do the best I can to hang in there.
I swear you are.
So get to the science now.
All right. So the
Walk me through
science
this
is
now.
this. There is something in our food called lectin, and it's primarily in our protein and our dairy. You know this. Lectin does what? It causes agglutination. Agglutination, think of it as super glue. It causes clumping in your blood. That's it. So we need clumping because if you don't have it, you'll bleed out. But excessive clumping, right, causes inflammation. Inflammation then leads to chronic conditions, which like type 2 diabetes, or it literally starts with like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, which then is coupled with type 2 diabetes, right? That's how it all starts. And so if we address first the lectins, where we're getting our protein, which is like I said, mainly protein and dairy, where we're taking it and consuming it and making sure that we're not having excessive clumping in our blood, we then reduce the inflammation,
Mhm.
right? And then hence heal your chronic condition or keep you away from having chronic conditions. And I'm speaking in very layman talk for that reason, because it doesn't have to be all of that. It really doesn't. So that's the science behind it, the clumping in the blood and creating that inflammation, which causes us to be sick, which is why your doctor says the first thing to you, what are you eating and are you moving?
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to be saying, "What are you eating?" and not "Are you moving?" But they don't.
Right.
Um, so, so there's two questions that you make me think about with that. When you're doing blood work, are you doing the blood work diet typing? In other words, if you're O positive, then this is the type of diet you should be doing. Or are you doing the blood work where you're pulling like 2,000 different types
Oh,
of tests out of the blood? So you're doing the blood type diet. Off.
yes,
Okay, walk us
literally.
through the blood type diet because I think 99% of the people have no clue about
Yes.
the blood type diet and how your blood will tell you what you should be eating. So, yeah, walk us through that.
That goes right back to the lectin. Okay. So our the foods that we consume based upon what your blood type is, it will or will not cause excessive glutination or clumping in your blood. So if we eat foods that are prevalent to our blood type that won't cause the excessive clumping, we won't have the excessive inflammation. So when we want to heal ourselves, what do? We go back to what we're eating and making sure, yes, we still need all of those macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats, but making sure that the foods that we are consuming, the nutrients that we are consuming, are going to agree with our blood type. And so
How many different blood types are there? How many different blood types are in
there's
this?
really five. There's a fifth one that's just now. It's so new that it's not even worth mentioning as yet. But there's O,
Mhm,
A,
mhm.
AB, and B.
What's the most rare of those blood types?
AB.
AB is the most rare. That's right. That's right. So when so
And O is the most.
someone comes in to see the Wiz of Wellness, right? and they go in and you sit them down and you hit them over the head with a couple of Donisms and go, look, dude, you're sick, all right? But let me tell you how we're going to make you better. So
Yeah.
you draw their blood and you find out what their blood type is.
Unless they know. I don't even have to do it. If-
I don't trust anybody. I can't remember what I don't trust anybody. I trust you, but that's it, man. I trust Dawn and that's it. But so once you get their blood, are there other things that you do with their blood, or you just get their blood type? And once you know their blood type, you can go, okay, let's get you eating. And then you set them up on a nutrition program.
Yes, I do nutrition. I'm a nutritionist as well. So yes, and here's the thing. So I don't only see people that are local. I see people all over the world. So I might not have access to being able to draw their blood, or they may not do the kit correctly. So I will ask them, but if not, I have ways of getting that. So yes, I am not looking at their blood unless they're an actual patient of mine where a physician referred me, and then I'll pull their medical records. But if they are not a patient, I won't do all of that. I just need to know your blood type and what are your chronic conditions, what are your health issues. And based upon that, I'm going to create a nutrition plan that's going to be designed for your blood type and your wellness goals. And I'll do you one even better than that. If you do a program with me, I'll teach you how to do it. Because here's the thing, I didn't get you in that position. So I'm going to help you to get out, but I want you to stay out. And the only way for you to stay healthy is for you to understand what the hell you just did. That's the problem, Gary. People don't, they get a prescription. They don't know what the heck is for. They get a nutrition plan. They don't know why I should eat this many calories or this many. They don't get it. So let's take the time to understand. And it's not hard. I do it in my book. Understand why you need this amount of food, why you need this amount of protein, carbohydrates, and fat. Because with that, you're empowered. Just writing you a prescription, a nutrition prescription is for naught.
Yeah. See, the challenge here with you, Wiz, is you are not passionate about this. That's the challenge. You are not bringing this shit. That's all right. I
I'm
need you to
sorry.
fire up on
I
this.
failed you. I failed
You can never fail me, Wiz. You can never fail me. So inflammation, yes, we know inflammation is a killer. It probably causes cancer. We
It does.
know it just inflammation causes so many problems. Now,
Yeah.
so when you get with someone, right, and you got their
Yep.
blood and you say, all right, you're type O, whatever, and this is
Yes.
where I should schedule your diet with.
Yes.
Once people start this,
Yes.
are there things that's like just their body? I know people who fast or do detoxes, sometimes they feel really sick. And it's like, yeah, dude, because all those poisons are leaving your freaking body. So when they start this, is there kind of like a window where people don't feel well or it's like really kind of messing them up?
Nope. It
Wow.
is not at all. In fact, within 7 days, you start to feel better. They trick you, man. They trick you. They do. You don't have to feel sick to get better. You
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
There's a process. And I'll tell you 90%, no, 98% of the people that I work with don't do it right. It takes some weeks sometimes to catch it because we're so used to doing the wrong thing. So yeah, you have to have in my programs, I have accountability design. And then sometimes I'm gonna be honest, it takes testing and assessing, right? I'll come up with the prescription that's best for you as far as your nutrition prescription, your what medical fitness prescription as well. But based upon what you do or don't do, or how sick you are, everybody doesn't respond the same way to their illness. So we have to also maybe tweak things to help you to get to where you need to be so you can start to feel better.
Yeah.
But it's not a long process, right? And again, I have to first start with that mind. So I'll give you all of this stuff and you're not going to do it. I guarantee it. You're going to F it up the first time. Well, you will. The
Well,
fitness, they'll do.
yeah.
The nutrition, they get lost. And then I don't have time. And most of the people, 99 of them, not I would even say 100%, tell me this is too much food. because they don't understand. You've been malnourished. Man, I could go on, Gary, but I won't.
I want you to go on because this is way, seriously, Wiz, this is way too important stuff. And people don't get that. It's like people think they're hungry, but they're really thirsty. They're freaking totally dehydrated, but they go, "Oh, I'm really hungry." It's like, no, you're thirsty. Your
You're
body's craving.
thirsty.
People say,
Right.
"I've got a headache, so I'm going to take some aspirin." No, you don't have a headache. You just are eating garbage, and so it's clogging up your vessels in your brain because they're so tiny. So bring me back to this program now. So when you set them up on a diet, not a diet because it's not really a diet.
No,
When you
it's
change
right.
their eating patterns to match their blood, right?
Hmm.
And are you giving them menus? Are you giving them cooking tips? Are you giving them a shopping list? I mean, what are you
Good.
giving
Good
them to get
question.
going?
I give you a menu of food. And because people, again, they have, if I say, okay, eat, and it also depends on the person, but typically I'm going to give you a list of proteins, a list of fats, carbohydrates, and fiber. And they will be prevalent to your blood type, but also measured in the amounts that you should consume. At the bottom of the menu of foods, there's circles, and those represent plates. And the plates will say you should have, and they're color coded. So I say have one orange, one blue, and one green for breakfast. And they get to like a menu. You don't eat it. If you don't like it, don't eat it. But these are the foods that are going to be best for your blood type, but also for what your needs are nutritionally, right? And you pick and choose off that menu what you want, prepare it like you want. It's very free because people have to first get accustomed to eating the amount of food that their body truly needs. They have to get that metabolism up, right? And that takes time because we're used to eating one. First of all, we start our day with coffee, which suppresses your appetite, and then we only eat one or two meals in the day, and bam, we think we did something, right?
Yep.
And so I give you that freedom. Now, some people do actually want a sample of what that should look like. So I will also give them that. What a sample nutrition plan will look like. It's a sample. If you don't like the foods that I selected, pick something else off the menu, man.
It's a freaking sample, okay?
I
Picture.
say that. Right, exactly. That part. What is it, mini me? Yeah, but I do, and so the point of it is that yeah, because you have to first allow them to have get their mind right and wrapped around the fact that we've been taught eat less, exercise more for so long, and we've been so nutritionally deficient for so long. We have to first get the concept of eating enough foods, and then I can get you a little bit more structured or be a little bit more regimented with how you're eating, the times and all of that stuff. But first, let's just get it in.
We're so undisciplined as a people, and we're so,
That's
we could
mhm.
spend 8 hours sitting on the toilet going through Facebook, but to actually make ourselves the proper breakfast, the proper lunch, the proper dinner, proper snacks, the proper hydration, we just won't do it. We'll just drive through McDonald's and just get something out of McDonald's and just continue to poison our body. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
what
so what type of mindset? How are you? Do you work with people's mindset to go, look, dude, you need to get discipline on this shit, or you're just gonna
yeah.
die. I mean,
Yes. Part of what we do is we go through mindful eating.
mm,
And I first help you because that's a whole thing, man. It really is. Slow down and taste your food,
mm, mm.
the texture. So we literally will do mindful eating practices that's built into the program. So you could start that. But you still gotta meet people where they're at, Gary.
Yeah.
All right.
How many times do you hit people? Are you allowed to
All the
hit your
time.
patient?
A lot.
But it's because you care, right? It's like, look, dude, I'm trying to heal you, right? And I'm trying to set you up on a new life pattern of how to take care of yourself. And
Right.
I had throat cancer and I had a feeding tube and stuff, and
Mm.
people are like, "Don't you miss food?" I'm like, "No, I'm not like a foodie guy. Like I'm not
Right,
like I don't crave
right.
food. I eat because I have to eat.
You
So
have
I
to.
try to make sure whatever I'm stuffing in my pie hole is good for me because I don't
Right,
really care either way. It might as well be good,
right,
right?
right.
But so many people are they're just like, I crave this and I'm going to eat it regardless. I don't give a shit,
Right,
right? It's like, well, wait a
right.
minute. If you could
Well,
tinker with it and have the whiz set you up, you could still eat really good, healthy stuff that just works for your blood, right?
and guess what? I even do, I even give you cheats. And I don't mean cheat like have a cheat day. What I mean is, okay, you can't eat all of this food. I get it, right? You're busy. You don't have time, but you damn sure have the time to pop a pill, but that's whatever. So I'll give you nutrition hacks. I will even allow you to drive through a drive through, but I get to pick it, the drive through that you go through, and I get to choose what you have. So you have to meet people where they're at, Gary, if you really want them to. You can't just give them this and say, this is how you heal. They won't do it. It's not achievable to them in their minds. It's like telling somebody to go from being, a ditch digger to becoming a rocket scientist. They could do it, but it's not going to happen just by giving them a book and saying, this is how you do it, right? It doesn't matter how much direction you give on how to do it. They have to first believe that they can. And so I give a lot of nutrition hacks, be it through protein drinks, good ones that are good for their blood type, be it going through a drive through. I've worked with a lot of truck drivers and flight attendants, and they don't have access to eating 5 meals a day. So we have to meet them where they're at and give them options that work within their lifestyles. So that's the difference here. I don't uh make you subscribe to my lifestyle. I fit my program into your lifestyle and let it work for you. That's the difference.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. But how many people don't want to get better? I mean, how many people come to you because their doctor sent you and it's like, dude, you're gonna have a heart attack next week. You got to go see the Wiz. You got to go see Don Wells. How many people get there and go, you know what, doc? I don't really give a shit. I don't want to change. I don't want to do this. I mean, how do you get over that mindset?
I've never had anyone that does that, but and if I had someone that gave me resistance, this is what I say. Is what you're doing working?
No. That's
And
why the doctor.
and
Dude,
and, and one step farther, if I did, I would simply say, okay,
yeah, I
you
can't
can't
help anyone
say,
who doesn't want to be helped. I can't do it.
okay,
Yeah, yeah. What's
okay.
the what's the What's the initial consultation when you meet with someone? Do they even get the blood food connection at all, or are they just completely like, dude, I have no idea what you just said. I mean, do they get that? I mean, are they receptive to it? Because, like I said, I think 99% of the people have never even heard of the blood diet connection.
But yeah, yeah, and I do. Can I make a recommendation for a book while we're having it?
Yes,
Not
please
even
do.
my book. My book is great and it gives you all of this too, but they should consider reading Eat Right for Your Blood Type, The Blood Type Diet by Dr. Peter Diadamo. It is an excellent read. It's very simple. He even gives you more breakdown. My book gives you a breakdown as well, but he really does go deeper into it. And even in some parts of his book, he gives you recipes and things like that. So that's number one. Number two, to answer your question, people do get it because I make it understandable,
Mhm.
like the water to fish thing.
Yeah.
People get that. You have to meet them where they're at for them to understand what you're talking. I'm not going to come to them and say, yeah, your lectins on your dick. They don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And nor do a lot of people even damn care. But when I lead with the fish thing, they start to say, oh, well, then how does that really work? And that's a fact, Gary.
Yeah.
More times than not, if I lead with something that they get, they feel confident enough to say, well, how does that work? But if I lead with something, all these medical terms and all the science behind it, I'll be like, "Look,
Well,
baby
you
bow."
make it you make it totally relatable because let's face it. I mean, anyone who's had any fish in their life, even if you won one at the carnival that you took home in the bag after you threw a ping pong ball in there, you know if you put that little sucker in salt water, he's gonna die, right? If you put him in, and vice versa. I mean, if you buy this beautiful fighting fish and you put that thing in freshwater, it's gonna die. So
It's
that's a
gonna die.
super relatable concept. Do you talk about that this kind of started because of you personally
Yeah,
having eating issues and stuff like
yeah.
that? Do you share that with your clients? I mean, walk us through that. How'd this all get started?
And I can do this so well because I get it. No, I've never had a chronic condition, but I have had a eating disorder, which is a chronic disorder. All right. And I suffered from bulimia, first PTSD, which was then through the PTSD, I was diagnosed with the bulimia and binge eating. And I did that, Gary, for almost 30 years, and I didn't realize that's what it was because I was like, I'm not skinny, right? And to be even more frank, black people don't get that. Do that? Don't get eating disorder,
Right?
right?
Right? All
Right, but that's
right.
yes, man, right?
I'm, right? I know. See, now that shit'll get you in trouble, right? You start throwing that at me. No, don't even bring
Let's,
that.
yeah, here we go. But to that point, and luckily my family wasn't like that. But for real, I did, and I did not. It was my shame. I knew that I was doing something wrong because I would hide, the food that I was gorging on, and I would hide the bags. And my kids, when they were young, they would say, "Mommy eats all the snacks and she eats everything," but they did not. I wasn't skinny, right? So I did not associate my trauma and the way I was eating, or did I even relate body dysmorphia? Right? That was another thing I had. What I saw was something completely different from what it was from my previous traumas and being violated, sexually violated, right? And so I, while I've not had a chronic condition, I have had a chronic disorder that kept me bound. And I realized from that, going through therapy first, that because I would try to stop and I couldn't. And going through therapy and being formally diagnosed with it and then even put on medication, of course, because that's the first thing. But in my case, it was necessary. And in a lot of people's cases, it's necessary in the beginning. But I also realized I don't want to be on this stuff. I feel weird. I feel weird. Right. And it wasn't helping me. So my psychiatrist at the time told me, well, if you exercise and get your serotonin up, your endorphin and your dopamine up, and your serotonin levels up, it will have the same response as your medication. And we can reduce it, which we did. I started doing Zumba, which I always loved exercise anyway, but I started to do Zumba and then started doing other things and got more involved. This is before I was in healthcare, right? And I started feeling better and she kept reducing till she took me off and I no longer needed it. But I understood what happened. So even now, I still have those traumas that I dealt with. And I learned through therapy how to identify them and my triggers and all of that good stuff, right? But they still exist. So I know how from my trauma, the therapy that I went through and the experience of exercising, that if I don't exercise, I will fall into a depression, which will then lead me to binge eating X, Y, and Z. But I had that knowledge. So I knew then, right? And then I gained all this weight at turning 40 and all of this. So I started to realize that there's a connection here, right? And so that's why I can say to my patients that are suffering and have been on metformin and all these medications for decades,
Yeah.
it's here that's keeping you bound.
Yep.
So, yes, I'm going to give you everything you need on the surface, and I'm going to make sure you understand why, because that's what worked for me. When I started to understand that that exercise was got me off the med, and I still had the same feeling that I felt when I was on the med as far as feeling better, it helped me to see, so my patients need to get that same thing. And so my online programs, or even my when they come to see me personally and I'm billing insurance or whatever for them coming to me, I still attack it the same way. I have to attack it from a mental perspective. And I don't even just say from the beginning, let's do mindful eating. What the hell is that? That's hokey. I'm not doing that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Although in my initial paperwork, I do have them complete a form that will help me to know if they do have an eating disorder, whether it's just stress eating or emotional eating, or if it's actually a deeper, like me, bulimic anorexia. And then in that case, I have to refer them out to someone because that's out of my scope. But at least I know how to identify it. So that I hope that answered your question and gave you a little bit about my own personal journey and how I was able to relate that. And then when I started working, got into healthcare and started working with patients, doing what I do, I'm like, this works for them too. This is
How did you put the blood connection in there though? So
yeah.
I get all that stuff. And then how did you go, wait a minute, I'm gonna take this to a whole nother level. I'm gonna find another level here because there's more to it than just that. How did you find the blood work?
Somebody told a friend of mine, believe it or not, told me about eating for my blood type because I still, even though I was exercising and eating better and mentally feeling better, I still was like, I'm still not feeling the best, right? And I still am holding on to all this fat, right? How do I get this? And a friend of mine at the time referred me to Dr. Peter's book,
Mm,
The
mm,
Eat Right for Your Blood Type.
yeah.
So I was like, well, let me try it. Let me see. I like, and this is gonna sound crazy. I was like, I have all this gas. Why am I always farting? And so I said, and so I tried it because I was like, something is up that I'm farting so much. Like this is not normal. And so I tried it, and it is. I started seeing changes. My
Yeah.
fat. I actually started losing fat, right? And I started building more muscle because I was eating protein that was better for me than what I realized. And it also, now eating for your blood type does not determine what kind of exercise you should do, but it does help you to know what exercise is best for you based upon what you eat, whether it's a more dense diet or not, right? And so I learned that from that, and it worked. I just started feeling better. So when I started to see, before I even was in healthcare and I was just doing fitness and nutrition coaching, I said, I'm gonna start to talk to people about this. And it's worked for hundreds of people. I have had anomalies, yes, where they were and they actually did better on a plant base. Very few. I would say maybe 2% of the hundreds of people that I've worked with. But when I put them on the eating for their blood type and eating macronutrients that were better for they've done so well, and they felt better.
It's interesting how when you feel better, you're willing to go, oh shit, this actually might be working.
Yeah,
So maybe
man.
I will, maybe I will put my shoes on and walk to the mailbox instead of taking my skateboard, right? I mean,
That
maybe I
part.
will walk down two more blocks. I mean, maybe I will start this because I'm feeling better,
But
right? And if and once that belief kicks in, you're going to continue to move forward with it. And I find all this fascinating. I love diet, nutrition. Um, One thing that caught my interest was how on earth did you get the evil insurance companies to cover this? Because they hate this shit. Because you're actually making people healthy, and they do not want that.
that's a fact.
So how did you get this covered on insurance?
That's a fact. All
That
right.
is a fact.
It actually always was covered, but people don't know it.
Wow. Wow. I didn't, yeah, that blows my mind because you'd think that would be the last thing they
It's
wanted is
how
to
it's
get
all
healthy.
about how you do the billing. But I mean, I am a national provider, healthcare provider. I have a provider ID and I carry malpractice insurance and all of that. So you can't just be a personal trainer and
Yeah.
do this and bill it to insurance. But think about it, nutrition, you can bill nutrition. You can
Yeah.
bill physical therapy.
Hmm.
You can
I
bill
didn't,
bill occupational therapy to insurance, right? So
yeah.
it's all about how you bill.
So that's the other thing you have. Uh, eh, you have a fitness studio, right? I mean, do you have like, is it a gym or is it a fitness
So
studio?
it's a wellness center, and the reason it's not a traditional gym. So no, I don't. I do have fitness equipment in that, and all, but it's used for one-on-one. I don't have like memberships where people come in here and use the gym. No, it's more of like a doctor's office setting, but there's with some gym equipment in several of the rooms. All right. And so because we are seeing patients for primary care, I do have a nurse practitioner that's here as well. She has her practice here. She does holistic medicine out of the wellness center. So it looks more like a doctor's office, but with a more wellness feel. So earthy kind of, welcoming. It's not so sterile.
So basically you've got kind of an all-encompassing sort of health, uh, nutrition, mindset, exercise. You kind of have the whole package there, just like that. And then, do you use the equipment to teach people how to start working out, or what's the
Yeah.
purpose of having the equipment there?
So I see people one on one. So whenever I see a patient, they're literally referred to me by a physician, and I do medical fitness with them. All right. It falls along the lines of clinical physiology. And so we are literally, but the difference of what I do as opposed to a trainer is I am using the fitness and the nutrition as medicine. I'm
Mhm.
medically trained to treat you in that way. And the why I say that, Gary, is because some chronic conditions should not do certain fitness programs, but then others should. But you don't know that if you're not trained in that. For instance, fibromyalgia. Okay, a person that has fibromyalgia should only be doing exercise at 30 to 40% of their maximum capacity. So because if you go, so you go to a trainer and then they have you doing it at full, it triggers it,
Mm.
it worsens it. So that's just a small example of certain things that people
Yeah,
would.
because if you don't know that, you're going to do more harm than good. I mean, you're going to be
Exactly.
putting people, if you're just a regular trainer and you don't know that, and you're pushing people and you don't see why they're not getting results or they don't feel well or something like that, it's because you don't know that about them going into that, and that's the difference. So, tell us about your book. So it's called Holistic Health 101. Your only limit is you. So tell us about your book.
And only you is in caps because only you can do it. Only you got you where you're at. Now, you can't control your health sometimes. I get it. You can contribute to it, but you can't control it because there are things that are genetically assigned, right? But you can control your wellness, right? And so in my book, it is basic. It's not it can be read from front to end, but it's really more of a blueprint. It's designed to be a tool that you go back to over and over again to understand what it is you should be doing and how to do it. So I literally give you how to create a medical fitness program that's going to be best for your blood type. I'm going to, for your chronic condition, excuse me, how to create a nutrition plan, or that the fact that you need a specific type of nutrition, and what blood-based eating is about. So it is a 101. That's why I call it Holistic Health 101, because it's the beginning. You need to know the beginning. You got to learn the ABCs before you start just reading sentences.
Yeah. So it's more like a working document. It's more like a training document. It's more like a working document, something that you go to on a continuous basis. Do your
Like a manual.
Yeah, like a life manual, really. I
It
mean,
is.
like a life manual. Is the book the basis of your program, or they
Yes.
go hand in hand together on that?
It is the basis, and they do go hand in hand. And in fact, I often refer my patients to that. And I have other tools that I give them that help them to support them throughout this journey, accountability tools, all of that, because I don't trust people. I don't, no, you're not going to do it. I already know it. And the first thing they do, Gary, oh, I need my nutrition. Why? You're not going to do it. Right? So, but I give it to them, and what do? Nothing. They, because because it's a process. But that's how we are as a people. We want it all.
Yep.
We want it all. But we have in the Marine Corps, we used to say we have really good initiative and poor ass judgment.
And that's so true outside of the core too, man. That's just so we
Yeah.
just we just are stuck in our ways. We're lazy. We want instant gratification. We don't want to put in the work. And so but I can see how you can fire people up to get them pumped up. It's like you drop and give me 20, bitch, because I want you on this right now. I want you getting
I'm
healthy.
like,
I care more about you than you do, and you're pissing me off right about now.
listen. And I'm listen. I've learned. Like, I'm not gonna fight with you. Either you want to live or you don't.
Yeah.
Do you want, how many, you came to me because you said you're tired of feeling like shit.
Yep.
You came to me because you said you're tired of getting more medication. You said that you've been on this for years. Why are you still on it if it's supposed to be helping you? And why? You said that. I just remind them, Gary, of what they said to me. But I can't force you. Just do
Can't do
I
it for you.
want to? And yes, now once you're in, I'm gonna, you're in. And yes, you are gonna be held accountable for things. You have to check in every week. I want to see what's going on so we can know what you are. And numbers don't lie. Oh, they'll tell me, I'm doing it, and getting fatter and fatter. And I don't mean big because I don't call people fat. I mean more body fat.
Yeah. Yeah, the bad fat. I mean, it's a bad fat that is harder to get rid of, but comes on easier. It's just so you said though that doctors refer you. How on earth did you get doctors to refer you to actually help people get healthy? That's against the code.
It's reverse psychology. And it's actually reverse engineering. I'm not lying. I'm serious. This is
I love you. I swear to God, Wiz, you're awesome.
it is. I have the patient go to the doctor. I give them the referral form.
hmm
When
Nice.
they come to me, they think they come from me to me for one thing, and I tell them about something else. Tell people what they want to hear, give them what they want so you can give them what they need.
Yes. Excellent. That is another Dawnism. I love
Yes.
that. I love that because that is so true. That is so damn true. And along with the kind of corny one, no one cares about what you care until you know they care about. You know the one I'm saying. What the
Yes,
hell is
I
that
know
one?
exactly what you're talking about. You know
Right.
what?
Until they know you care, they don't care what you're saying, or
They don't care what you right.
some shit like that.
And so the physicians, they and I'm it's sad to say they're so over inundated with patients. The patients take that referral form to them, and it's usually an office person that's filling it out. And then the nurse practitioner or the PA will sign it, because they get it kinda and
Right.
kinda not. They don't really know what the hell I'm doing. They just know it's a referral and the patient asks for it. They don't. But
Yeah.
here's what I do, Gary. I chart just like you do, like a physician does, and I chart their progress, and I send my medical, my charting notes with an over, not for all of them, but I send a summary to their physician or that nurse practitioner or PA of the progress that the patient is making, so that I then get their attention. Oh yes,
Yeah,
I
that's
must
awesome.
because they're patients.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
that's
and
awesome because I mean that's helping them. I mean that's actually making the doctor look good. I mean that is because now it's like, see, I told you I could heal you,
right,
but it's really you doing the healing. It's like,
and I
but
don't
who
care.
gives a shit? I mean, if you're
Who
helping
cares?
people get healthy and people can see this, then it's just gonna keep booming. So you've been amazing. This hour just freaking ripping by. But I do have another question though.
Yes.
I told you I only had one, the
And
what
I
if
may
you could
not be able
question,
to answer, but
but I lied. I totally lied. I'm a liar. Like I said, you can't trust anybody.
me too.
So
Talking about.
so I do have one more question. I
Right.
have one more question. So I ask all my guests. I don't tell them that ahead of time. So, but if you had one, Don Wells had just one thought, one message, a saying. I mean, if there's something that was close to your heart that you wanted to leave people with, Adonism or whatever, what would that thought be that you'd like to leave our guests with?
Your only limit is you.
Right on. Yeah. I mean, that's so true. And that's why your book, I mean, Holistic Health 101, your only limit is you.
And
And it's
only
so
you is
true.
capitalized because
Yeah.
only you. Only
Yeah.
you.
Well, you're awesome here. I love what you're doing. And where
Thank
are
you.
you physically? What state are you in?
Yes, I'm based out of Georgia in Covington, Georgia. Yes. And it's
Well,
like right,
I'm
right
gonna hook
outside.
you up with a friend of mine,
Okay.
who is out there. Dr. David is out there,
Oh,
and he's pretty awesome. He was a doctor, and he bailed on the medical system because he said this was
oh,
bullshit. And now he's doing holistic stuff. You two could work together, and he's in Atlanta, Georgia.
I would
Um,
love it. I will go and see him.
yeah, he's a great guy. So he's working on this stuff. Ask him about his whiteboard. He loves his whiteboard. People come into his office and he puts all their shit on the whiteboard and goes, "See that? Look at that. Look at that. That's you, all right?" And then bitch slaps him and
I'm gonna show you. I'm like that too. I write out everything and I chart it each week and I let them see. I was gonna pull up one. It's actually on my social. And patients will tell me anything. I'm like, I'm tracking you. You see, this each week. I don't. This one's not
you
in.
cannot bullshit me because I'm
Oh,
tracking you.
the numbers don't lie, man. The
They
numbers
don't
don't lie. And I'll draw circles around stuff and eat week to week because they'll see. But also, it's a roadmap for them to seeing how they missed because everybody's so focused on weight. And I'm like, oh yeah, you lost weight. Yeah, oh great. You lost fat. Oh, good. A little bit of yeah. No, you lost weight. You okay, great. But look at your lean muscle. You lost that too.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you think that you're still focused on weight, and that is not what your challenge is. You are not sick because of weight. You're sick because of fat.
Yeah. And inflammation is killing people.
That's
Our
part of
diet and our stress level and all this shit, that's the inflammation is out the door. And that's why people, they don't get dis-ease. It's your body is in dis-ease, and that's why you have dis-ease. And as long if we can start healing that, you know, through
Yep.
from you, then we can get rid of this disease. We can get rid of this inflammation. We can get rid of this chronic. It's like it's so funny, right? You probably see people. They come in to see you. They go, "Yeah, I'm going to get a knee transplant." You go, "Why are you getting a knee transplant?" Say, "Well, my knee hurts." Well, it's because you're carrying around 80 extra pounds. Why don't you lose the weight before you freaking go get a knee? And right? It's like that's
Right.
the thinking. It's like it's easier
Right.
to just go get your knee replaced than to drop 80 pounds. But they don't know that if they get the knee replaced with the 80 pounds, the knee's not
It's
going to
just
get better.
the knee is not getting better. It's not
Yeah.
getting better. It's
Yeah.
not. So we let's go back to the root cause of this thing here, right? And getting back to what is right for us and understanding first, understand what's right first, know what is a good food and a bad food. And here's the thing too, Gary, you don't have to do it 100% of the time. You do it 80, 85% of the time and eat your trash the rest, you're all right.
I tell people all the time, just do the 80-20 rule, man. 80-20, 80-20. I mean, if you focus 80% of the time on your health and goof off the other 20% of the time, that's okay. But the interesting thing that you know better than me is that people will start all of a sudden going 85% better, 90% better because it feels good.
Yeah,
That
that's
shit that they were doing before does not feel as good now. And it's like, why would I even go back to that? I don't even want to do 80-20, right? I'm 95-5. I don't give a shit.
yeah.
It
You
feels
feel
better. Why?
better.
Right?
And that's why I love to work with people in our age demographic. I'm 53 and I love to work with people in my age demographic and up because we're hey, listen, we're on the other side.
Right. And we want to go longer.
We want to
We
go
want to
longer.
feel, I mean, I've got two grandkids. Babe, I'm going to be kicking their ass 20 years from now. I'm going to be, look, dude, do you want to bring this to grandpa? Let's go. Let's go
Let's go.
snowboarding. Let's go
Let's
golfing.
go.
Let's go climb a
Yes.
mountain. Grandpa's going to bring it, dude. You want some of this? I
Yes.
don't think so.
Right. My granddaughter's like, oh, we went to Six Flags last summer. She was like, oh, Grammy.
Grandma, slow down. Grandma, slow down. Well, this has been so much fun. All right, everybody. This has been Dawn Wells, and Dawn is absolutely the Wizard of Wellness. There's just no doubt about it. You are the Wizard of Wellness. I got 18 Dawnisms already written down. We're gonna go. I love Dawnisms, man. You all have to go get the book. You've got to go get the book, Holistic Health 101. Your only limit is you. So, Dawn, where do we find your amazingness? Where do we find your books? Where do we find everything about Dawn Wells?
The book is on Amazon. I do have a second edition to the book. So if you want the latest version of it, go to my website, dwfwellness.com. And everything, DWF, Delta Water Frank Wellness.com, is also social media of all them, TikTok, all of them. They're all IG, all whatever all these socials are. But it's all DWF Wellness. That's how you could find me.
DWF, like Don Wells Fitness, Don Wells Fabulous, Don Wells Freaking Awesome. It's just freaking Don Wells. All right. Just knock that rest of that shit off. Let's go to see Don. You've been awesome. This has been so much fun. But we've learned a lot because really, like I said, I honestly think 99% of the country has never heard of blood diet. And it's so crucial. It
It
really is.
is.
And the fact that you could do this online, you could tell people, dude, go find out what your blood type is. Let me know what it is, and we can do this. I don't care if you're in freaking Zimbabwe. We're gonna
Yeah.
put you in this. You just have to go see Don Wells. So
Yes.
I'm so grateful that you came on here. We had so much
I
fun. So
am sure this
everybody,
is for the ball.
this is another episode of the What If You Could podcast with the amazing Wizard of Wellness, Don Wells, and thank you so much, kiddo. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate you.
All right, we'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Get healthy. Thanks again for joining us on another episode of What If You Could podcast. Please subscribe, like, share, and give us any feedback. We'd love to hear it. And remember, if you can dream it, you can do it. See you next time.